What's up with this? So, for example, the other day I was leaving the YMCA, and there's a car on the side of the road, and there's a fire truck, a police car, no ambulance at the time, or maybe there wasn't. And as I get closer, all they had done, the front right wheel had fell off. It reminded me, one Thanksgiving, my brother and an uncle were having I'm faster on foot, right? So that my uncle, halfway in the race, loses his balance, falls face first into a tree. And he ruined his face, right? So someone calls, I don't know, 911, whatever they called, from the family. They say, hey, we got a guy, he just ran into a tree. And here comes fire truck, ambulance, police, everybody rolling in. So what's up with that, with some of these situations? And you think firemen, they put out fires. Police, you mess with criminals. Ambulance, you're here to somebody is severely. But you guys seem to all kind of have this, quite often you're on the same scene.
Before you answer, that was the first thing I noticed when I got to the US. I was like, why every time, even if it's something small that happens, why do we have ambulance, 5 different cop cars, firefighters attending something that's not serious at all?
Right. Well, it goes back to just what you said earlier, is we don't know what the scene is. So the situation you spoke of, probably somebody driving by called in and said, oh my gosh, a car crashed, the front wheel's even gone. So my dispatcher probably gets that and thinks, okay, we've got a car crash, a police officer has to handle that. A wheel fell off, it might be pretty bad. They didn't say if anybody was injured. There may be injuries, so I have to send paramedics. Well, our fire department, their rescue squad, paramedic as well. Mm-hmm. So now you've got all of us there. And you'd be shocked at the amount of medical calls where someone gets aggressive with the paramedics. Someone doesn't want to go to the hospital and they need to. Maybe it's a mental illness situation, or in a diabetic situation. When people get extremely low and they have diabetes, and they say you kind of almost lose your consciousness a little. You don't really know what you're doing. So they may get violent. They don't want to go to the hospital. They think they're okay. Mm-hmm. Or you show up to a scene and you're going to take somebody to the hospital because their son wants them to go, but the daughter doesn't want them to go. Now you have an argument. So they send us all just in case. Mm-hmm. The other reason is you've seen attacks on fire and medics increase all over. Why on earth anybody feels the need to want to hurt somebody like that, I don't know. But because they do, better safe than sorry. You send us with. Mm-hmm. So we kind of travel as a group wherever we go.
You're prepared for everything.
Yeah. I could see that from your perspective coming here. Why?
In Brazil, you call the cops. They take 2 hours for one cop to get there. Here you have the whole thing available for you.
Right. What's up with the whole cops and donuts and bacon? Why? There's got to be some sort of original on that. Have you guys ever looked that up, or where does that even stem from?
I would guess it came from, cops were always coffee guys, right? And where did you used to get coffee? Well, you went to a donut shop to get coffee. And I mean, come on, donuts taste amazing. So show me somebody who doesn't love donuts anyway.
That makes sense on the whole cop part. I could see that maybe that is the whole, or that's coffee, drink coffee, stay up, let's go. Yep. And then, yes, originally you got that from a coffee shop for sure.
Galesburg, I'm sure you're running into Sweetos. You got a cup of coffee and a donut. So I think, again, a guess on my part as to that's where it came from. I don't know.
We can run with that because it has some validity to it. I could see.
The bacon part of it, I don't know where police officers were referred to as pigs first. Yeah. I don't know how that came into play.
It's always weird. So oink.
In Galesburg, they used to say police in Galesburg, pig.
Oh, okay.
Right. So as a kid, that's kind of where I first heard it. But it's a national thing. It's
totally nationwide.
I don't really know where that came from, but
we should, after we wrap this up, we'll Google it. I love the origin of stuff. Yeah. I like what's wrong? The cat got your tongue.
Well, now you could get on and you could have an AI bot just write you a paper on it now, it sounds like. So
yeah. God, those things are scary, dude.
ChatGPT. Yeah. Jason, can you think of a crazy situation with you being a cop on duty that happened to you? Either pulled over or a call
funny,
that you guys...
You mean funny, embarrassing, maybe something that made you...
Dangerous.
Whatever.
So... Yeah, funny. I've got a ton of.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, man. I'll tell you one of my favorites is I arrest a guy who I've dealt with for a long time, 12 years probably been dealing with him, and really a nice enough guy. Never had any real conflict with him, but I've had to arrest him for some small things. And on this time I'm arresting him, and he's in the back of my car and he's in handcuffs, and he starts to explain to me that the next weekend he's getting married, and he doesn't really have many close friends anymore. He and his brother don't talk anymore. And he asked, would you be busy next weekend? Would you be able to stand up with me? Because right now I don't have anybody to stand up with me. And I would have given anything to been able to do it. One, because he is genuinely a nice guy, and
sure.
Why not? But for my business, I travel to LA often, and I was in LA for like the next 7 days. So I couldn't do it. But that's one of my favorites.
How cool would it be to be like, hey guys, this is my boy. This is the officer who's arrested me a bunch over the last 12 years. Mom, this is him. Like how funny would that? That's cool.
Yeah.